We cover a lot of signature films here on the 6M podcast. Movies that stand the test of time. Movies that you can tell your kids about, who in turn tell their kids about. The original Star Wars trilogy come to mind. Notice I said original. Don't fight me. Those are the kind of films. Indiana Jones. The original Indiana Jones trilogy. Don't fight me. These are the kind of movies that stand the test of time. There's a lot more. I'm not saying there's no more. Don't be ridiculous. We don't have all day. But signature shows, man, like I said, are movies that stand the test of time that we all know, that we all love. And a lot of times these films can be completely significant and specific to the lead actor or actors involved in said films. We're talking about a lot of that stuff here today. And you know what we're talking about. You read the headline. You know what today's topic is. This time we're talking about a classic, one of the most classic comedies of all time. And I kind of think of this film as I think of Monty Python. If you don't get it, it's okay, I guess. But if you give up after one viewing, shame on you, because it deserves a repeat. I'm talking about The Big Lebowski. Maybe not as complex as Python can be, okay? But also a classic in every sense of the word. And if you've spent your life hoping, wishing, and praying for an amazing commentary to go along with this amazing comedy, man, have you come to the right place, because you've got it today. No pressure, guys. The setup is great, but we now have to deliver on The Big Lebowski, a 1998 crime comedy film. I like that. Written, produced, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, legends. It stars Jeff Bridges as the Dude, Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, a Los Angeles slacker and avid bowler, to say the least. He gets into a lot of hijinks and shenanigans, as we'll see during the film. The film also stars John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi, David Hiddleston, John Turturro, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Legend as well. The release date, January 18th, 1998. Has it been that long? Yes, it has. And then United States release, March 6th, 1998. And for our guest today, the UK release, April 24th, 1998. Running time is 117 minutes. Buckle up, kids. You're going to be here for all of it. The budget, $15 million. It made some cash. Box office was $46.7 million. And that is the lowdown for The Big Lebowski. So, Ben, we'll start with you here today. I understand you've never seen this film. Are you looking forward to it?
I may have glimpsed it once or twice, I think. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I often say this is possibly my favorite film of all time. I don't think it's the best film ever made, but like, this is, no matter what position I find myself in life, this is a film I can always just throw on, and it's like comfort food, isn't it? It's just there for you. It's just, yeah, it's wonderful.
That stuff that you can put on while you're working or while you're doing whatever.
I could be definitely hungover. I could be like working to a deadline. I could be like, if I had a stressful day at work, I could come in after a couple of beers. No matter what state of mind I'm in, I can just throw this on and it hits the spot every time.
That's awesome. Hits the spot. I like the way you put that. Jay, when we start talking about doing another 6M, and we've always talked about it, but then finding the time is hard, right?
That's it.
We mentioned this movie, and the first thing you said was, "Oh, we got to get Ben here because he's such a fan." Where does this fall for you for favorite movies of all time?
Oh, it's definitely up there. I'm pretty much, Ben's like said exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think it's the best film ever made, but it's one of my like favorite films. If I did this a lot during lockdown, during the pandemic, where I'd have nights where I'd just be sat with my brother drinking a few beers, and we just throw like a movie on in the background, and we both love this film, and 9 times out of 10 it would be this film. To the point where I told you the story on Friday when I suggested bringing Ben in for this, that we did like a quiz during lockdown, and Ben wrote us a Big Lebowski round because we won like a quiz. like we got everything right, obviously, but yeah, like it's one of my favorite films, mainly because it's something that like kind of brought me a bit closer to my brother as well, because it was like we have like we don't have a lot in common other than music, so to have something like this as well, it was just a really cool thing. And then, as I say, just sitting just chatting away, having a few beers and having this in the background, and then every now and again a scene we like comes on and we just start like laughing like kids. It's just great, isn't it?
So good, so good. I mean, you know, he's done some great stuff. Jeff Bridges has, and we can't act like this is the only great film he's ever done. But like honestly, if you ask the guy, hey, you'll always be known as the dude, I think he'd probably be okay with that. You know what I mean?
It's definitely one of those. Like, I struggle to see him as anyone else when you see him in other films. It's one of those, like this character. Because I mean, I don't know if we're going to go into trivia here or if you want to, but like, quite famously, the Coen Brothers wrote this film for everyone who was cast in it, didn't they? They wrote all the characters for specific actors, and it's the actors who play them.
Nice.
So so the dude was written for Jeff Bridges, and yeah, it's just. Yeah, I just can't. I struggle to see him as anything but the dude in anything else he's in now, which makes Iron Man a really weird film for me.
Oh, he's so good in Iron Man, isn't he? Wow. Just that.
But in Iron Man, he's playing like the dude, but he's definitely more Walter in Iron Man. He's absolutely Walter.
He is. Well put. And like, he's so good that when you discover he's a villain, it kind of rips your heart out because you kind of feel like he's got Tony's back, that he's okay, everything's fine. When Tony tells him that they're not going to sell weapons anymore, he actually doesn't pitch a fit. He just like, is this what we're doing? And he hugs him and stuff, and you're like, this is going to be okay. And then it's not okay. So, yeah. And plus his Rooster Cogburn. What do we think about that? What do we think about that?
So, despite the fact that that's another Jeff Bridges film and another Coen Brothers film, I've only seen it once, but I really enjoyed it.
I've only seen it once too. Yeah. I just remember the whole movie. He's doing the best he can with that voice, and so it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Coen Brothers have done some amazing stuff through the years too, man. I mean, they're legends in their own right. Honestly, so much stuff that they've done. It's crazy. Is this their best film?
Oh, I mean,
it's tough, right?
You've got to go. I mean, what would you say? Fargo? It's a popular one, isn't it?
Fargo was one of my favorite films.
No Country for Old Men won the Oscar. No Country for Old Men won the Oscar. And
No Country for Old Men's amazing, but it's a really hard watch.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to really be in the mood for it.
If you're talking about a scale where it's like critical excellence and like ease of watch, and they're like Big Lebowski's at one end and like No Country for Old Men's at the other end.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like technically one of the best films you'll ever see, but you don't want to watch it more than like once every 5 years. Whereas The Big Lebowski, it's just a funny little stoner comedy film in a way, and you can watch that every weekend. So,
Raising Arizona,
Miller's Crossing. I'm old school. I like Barton Fink a lot. Blood Simple. I like Hudsucker Proxy. I think there's a weird like sort of Wonka style goofiness about it, which I really like.
What about Burn After Reading? Wasn't that the one where, spoiler alert, they're in the bedroom and Brad Pitt is suddenly killed and you don't see it coming? It's like not expected.
He jumps out the closet and George Clooney just shoots him. Yeah, I love Burn After Reading because it's such a delightful fuck up of a film. Like everything just goes like spirals wrong out of control, and in the end, like nobody cares, and it's just like we'll just get on with our lives. And
with the trailer for that as well, they made it out that Brad Pitt was like so much bigger a part than he actually was.
It's true.
Like, they made it. I remember watching it and like they made out that like Brad Pitt was like this big part. So he comes in, I'm like, oh great, here's Brad Pitt, and he just gets shot. Like, oh, is that it?
The same thing happened in that flick with she's a romance novelist and she gets kidnapped because they think she has this treasure map. It's Sandra Bullock and
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Like
I know. That was out last year, wasn't it? Sarah just watched that like the other week because it's
not a bad movie. But you see Brad Pitt and you think he's gonna, and then all of a sudden, blam, and he's gone, and you're like, oh my god.
But he plays
does love like just a
most
role.
delightful character in that. He's having so much fun playing this like real airheaded like gym bro, like gym guy, and it's like, oh, he's having an absolute ball.
I was gonna say he does love like playing roles where he just like kind of shows up and like gets killed like immediately.
Yeah,
well,
didn't Deadpool 2 as well, didn't he?
The Coen Brothers create like oddball characters like so well, and like, but there's just enough like belief in them. Like they're, obviously they're like sort of caricatures, but you know someone who's just a little bit like them, so it makes you sort of buy into it, and you go, oh yeah, I know someone like that. Yeah.
The Lost City.
Lost City, that was the one, yeah.
And then of course he had that turn in Deadpool where he is he's the invisible, I forget the character's name, and then you don't see him until his death in the film.
Yeah.
I love that he is self-deprecating and he doesn't have to be the top guy. He doesn't have to be the main event. He's okay with being a laugh track. I'm like, this is a dude that is completely comfortable. I mean, let's face it, if you look like Brad Pitt, you're okay with whatever because you look like Brad Pitt, you know.
Fun Brad Pitt fact, he's a big Liverpool football fan as well. Yeah, him and when they were together, him and Angelina Jolie came over for like to see a game, and they bought all the kids football tops. They went into the shop and bought like all kits for the kids.
It's awesome. Screw this movie. Let's just talk about Brad Pitt for an hour. All right, kids, we're going to get cranking here. Unless anyone has any more random Brad Pitt trivia, I'm game.
I mean, surely we can just drop it in. We can just drop it in as it comes into the commentary.
There might be
some added Brad Pitt in this Big Lebowski commentary.
There definitely will be. There was a Coen Brothers film that we didn't mention that I just feel like it would be a crime not to just like give it its flowers, which is Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Sure.
I mean that's Brad Pitt adjacent because it's got George Clooney in, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like that is genuinely one of my favorite films. It's just so good. The soundtrack's phenomenal.
So the first time I ever saw that was on a coach on the way to Italy on like a 23-hour coach ride, and I thought I was losing my mind watching it. Like,
I mean, as good as the movie was, it didn't have Brad Pitt. I mean, you know,
that's true.
So what we're saying is the best Coen Brothers film is Burn After Reading because it has Brad Pitt in it.
Yes.
Like that's it's unanimous.
We've decided.
Okay.
No more searching, kids. We've decided. We've made the decision for you. Here at the 6M, we like to make life easier.
At least we settled on that.
Yeah, it's settled. All right. So, kids, here's the plan. We don't know how you're watching this film, whether it's, VHS, Betamax, Laserdisc. I'm showing my age. Perhaps DVD. Perhaps on a paid channel, streaming service, what have you. We are watching, by sheer coincidence, Amazon Prime, all three of us. This movie has a runtime of 1:57:12. Shout out to Troy, by the way, Untitled Wrestling Pod, as the two gentlemen who are with me here today. We go to do the face-off audio commentary, and yes, kids, it's in the archives. Go check it out. At the beginning of the show, I announced the runtime, and Troy's like off by 5 minutes, and I'm like, "How are you already off? Like, we haven't even started."
That one, we were watching it on completely different platforms. So I had it on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. I told Troy it was on Disney Plus, but he went and bought the Blu-ray for it, and then was watching it on Blu-ray.
Was it a different cut?
I think it must have been because his was different length as well. Because he was like, "Oh yeah, man!" Like it had like a different studio like running at the start. So
it did, yeah.
His was like about 15-20 seconds out from where me and Tom were.
Yeah.
So it was just bad. Like, wait, what?
The joke. We kept picking on him, and the joke eventually became that we were going to be done, and 3:00 tomorrow he'd be done. You know what I mean? Like finally he'd be caught up, and it'd be a 4-part episode, and yeah. It's ridiculous. Again, Troy, we love you. 1:57:12 is the complete runtime. If you see anything other than that, you may be a bit lost. So basically, all I can tell you is my start time is at 0, completely at 0. Okay, and all I've got on my screen amidst the blackness are the play button and the forward 10 and backward 10. So if you're at that mark, then you're good. If you're ahead of that mark, you're not so good. We will call out markers as we progress here. So if you lose your spot or whatever, you can hopefully get caught up.
All I'll say to anyone watching on Amazon is just make sure before you press play, make sure you're on the film screen, because normally they put like an advert before that you can't skip, but it will like throw you off if you press play. If you think, oh, I'll hit the play button now as we start, you might get like a 5-second like advert before you can skip it. So maybe make sure you get through to like the scrolly bar, like where it gives the timeline, and make sure you're ready there before you crack on with this.
Look at you being helpful. That was great.
Well, because I just did it. I'll just click on this and it started playing a trailer, and I was like, oh shit! I had to like skip it. Now I am on this. I'm on the bar. It says 0000 down the bottom.
I was completely ready.
You can turn X-ray off. You don't need that. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about this film. You don't need no facts. We've got them all. They're all completely.
Yeah, we got them.
Don't fact check anything we say. It's all right.
No, it's fine. No. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll even bring up the super secret Brad Pitt cameo that they have like at one part of the film.
Super secret. So secret, we shouldn't have told anybody. Way to go, Jay.
That's
yeah, well.
That's what callbacks are for.
That's fine. All right, kids. We hope you enjoy. And guys, for us here on the show, if anyone has to take a break, do what you got to do. It's all good. Life marches on. We'll be good. No worries. Because once I hit play, we're going.
Oh yeah, I mean, I might have to go and get another drink at some point, but I'll strategically plan it at a time when nothing really interesting is happening. So
there you go.
I mean, at least it's like literally just behind where you're sat.
I mean, I'm sat basically in my own kitchen here, so it's fine.
Yeah, you'll be able to like see your computer screen while you're doing
it. All right, gentlemen, here we go, kids. We'll count it down, and we'll go 3, 2, 1, go. Not 3, 2, go on 1. We're not going to lethal weapon it. So we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then play, and I'll say it. Kids, get ready. 3, 2, 1, play. Don't.
That's good. I know I'm in the exact same place as you.
You are totally in the exact same place.
It's a nice little marker to indicate that everyone started at the right time.
Yeah. Tom sings the song. We're like, oh, we're good. All right.
So, I love this intro. So the
intro is great.
This film makes me nostalgic for something I've never experienced.
What's that, bowling?
No, just this sort of period, like early 90s, like West Coast USA.
That's fair.
Sam Elliott with the great voiceover. The great Sam Elliott.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. He also, every character since this role has been this role.
Yeah. See, to me, he's Virgil Earp from Tombstone. That's who he is.
For me, he's Wade Garrett from Roadhouse.
Ah. So he's not the old man from Blade? Is that what we're saying? He was really good in Blade.
I thought that was Chris Christopherson.
Crap. Didn't we say no fact checking, Jay? What happened to that?
Everything you say is right.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, he's in Blade.
Thank you. Wait a minute. It was Ghost Rider.
It was Ghost Rider.
See, I was so close. Except that Ghost Rider is a horrible film.
Ghost Rider, to be fair.
Right, it's true.
If we're talking Nick Cage.
I was very close, except that Ghost Rider is a horrible film and Blade Rider is exceptional. Blade. I'm just making up films now, kids. Blade Rider is where'd that come from?
Blade 1 and 2, great. Blade Trinity, don't worry about it.
Oh, it's terrible. That's back when we thought, this Ryan Reynolds maybe can act. Oh, God, that's terrible. And they kept doing that until they found the right film.
He can act.
The fact that he managed to save his career from that. Fair play to him.
So my
What an
AirPod
intro.
popped out for a half second. I may be a bit behind now.
What an intro to the character there, man. Just bathrobe, walking down a supermarket aisle, grabbing some half and half. Oof.
Brilliant.
I mean, you say Darth Vader coming through the door in Star Wars, I'll take that any day of the week.
It's great. Look at him. I worked in the grocery business for quite a few years, and this is like, if you saw this, you would not be surprised. Los Angeles County. So right now he's smelling it. So I may be a half second behind.
Yeah, no, we're on the smell. He's
I've got that.
just gone to the checkout lady.
Yep. Okay, good. I'm good.
We are perfectly in sync.
And it's on his mustache, which is great. 69 cents. Remember the good old days when...
So half and half does not exist in the UK, like, at all. It's not a thing we get.
Well, I can't come there then.
I'm still not entirely sure what it is.
It's like basically half milk and cream mixed. So I made my White Russian with single cream because, like, I couldn't get, like, thick milk, basically. So
you guys sell coffee creamer though, right?
We sell Coffee Mate, so it's similar, isn't it?
Yeah, Coffee Mate's okay, I guess.
That's like powdered coffee creamer, isn't it?
And then this, like, straight away, this is like a total tonal shift on the entire film within the first, like, 2 minutes.
Great line coming up, kids.
I already know what it is.
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look. It's great.
Oh, no, don't piss on the rug.
Terrible. Who does that? That toilet is not to be believed.
Oh, I love that line so much.
Obviously, you're not a golfer. Some house broken.
Love how there's like 3 or 4 like scenes in this film that all like make callbacks to that scene as before as well. Like it sort of escalates every time someone breaks into his house, which is now this intro, man, is superb. The soundtrack, I mean, we're going to talk about it a lot, but the soundtrack of this film is phenomenal.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you guys bowlers?
I do love bowling. I've not been for a while.
Talented into bowling, but
yeah,
I will bowl.
There's a bowling alley on like Ben Street, like literally, like not even 5 minutes from his front door. So we should bowl more.
I've never been.
It's really good. Don't go on a Friday night. It's terrible because it's like
actually more of a midweek thing.
It's essentially in like a nightclub, so it's like don't do that. But if you go through the week, it's meant. Apparently you can like get like unlimited bowling for like however long.
Oh, nice.
I get unlimited free bowling as long as you're buying drinks. So might have to.
I mean, this film
have a little look.
Makes me miss the bowling, doesn't it? It's just like it glorifies it so well.
The last time I watched this film was before I went bowling. So I knew I was going bowling, so I watched this film because I was going with like people from work who were all really young and had no idea what the film was. So I knew I could make references to it and then see who was cool enough to get the references.
Right.
No one got the references.
That shot there, man, with the fucking 3 people slow-mo, 4 people slow-mo just throwing them. Oh, that's...
Yeah.
The Coen brothers make everything look gorgeous, don't they? Like they're just
They
so
do.
talented.
The lighting, the color, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely
I'm
one of the
not
best opens.
I'm not a great bowler. I'm okay. I remember one time me and my kid went and we were 2 lanes. It was fairly empty that day. 2 lanes down, right beside us were like a father and son, older son, or brothers or son, I don't remember. And I threw like 5 strikes in a row. And by strike number 3, they'd stopped bowling and were watching me.
Oh,
And
nice.
I felt awesome. I'm like, I'm never this good, You have no frame of reference here, Don. Walter and Donnie, Steve Buscemi, John Goodman.
I love the dynamic between John Goodman and Steve Buscemi in this film.
Let's shout out how either brave or stupid the dude is for putting on bowling shoes with no socks.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh.
I don't think the dude's got much time for socks in general, though, to be fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Also important to note that Donnie threw a strike earlier, and that might become important later on.
Very good.
Yeah.
That might be a metaphor. That might be a metaphor for something.
It's great.
Donnie, you are out of your element.
I mean, that's just like one of the all-time like most quotable lines in cinema, isn't it? Like, how many times have you heard someone shout, "Donnie, you're out of your element" at somebody?
I've definitely used that in the podcast before, and will be using it again in the podcast.
Do you guys know a dude? Because I know a dude. I definitely know a dude. I know a guy that reminds me a lot of dude here.
Possibly. There was our friend Dan who used to work in Jason's bar. He was the guy who dressed up as the dude, and I dressed up as Walter. And he's cut his hair now, and he's got a kid. But like back when he was young and free, he was a bit duty.
Where does he live now? Is it Minnesota?
I mean, he lives on a farm in Wisconsin, very close to Minnesota, like that end. But
I knew it was that neck of the woods. Yeah, Dan's probably the closest I think I've known to a dude.
The conversation about the rug was epic.
Yeah. Oh, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman.
The great Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He was
love
incredible.
This scene so much.
One of my favorite favorite roles for Philip Seymour Hoffman is actually from Almost Famous.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
That's a really underrated film, man. Especially in the UK. It doesn't get a lot of love in the UK.
So good. One of my favorite songs to play on bass is Fever Dog. So much fun to play, dude.
Nice.
Love that soundtrack. Good shot. He keeps selling him on this guy.
Because there's so much up, and then when this guy comes in, he's just an asshole, and it's like.
That's a great point. Yeah, the way he blows him up, he's this philanthropic, generous. Then he's see him, he's a jerk.
Crotchety, doesn't want to be bothered, no time for anybody, and here it is, Philip Seymour, spends 5 minutes going, oh yeah, he helps these kids out, he's won this award, he met this president, and yeah, he's just a horrible person.
It's really good. You never went to college.
I love how awkward Brent is in the whole scene as well.
You can see him just over his shoulder smiling. Man of the year. It's good. It really tied the room together. David Huddleston. This guy's done so much stuff in his career, man.
Yeah.
Isn't he in It's Always Sunny?
Maybe.
I was trying to think what the last thing I've seen him in was. I'm sure he was in an episode of It's Always Sunny.
He was, yeah, the Christmas one.
Was he Frank's old business partner?
Eugene Hamilton.
Yeah.
To me, he's Olsen Johnson in Blazing Saddles. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard Johnson is right about Olsen Johnson being right. It's great. Love that movie. I'm the dude.
And again, it's just like the total juxtaposition of these two guys. They could not be like more different. They're trying to have this like conversation from like two different worlds, and it's just
yeah.
They're the same, only in name.
On a weekday? That was the most insulting part. It's a weekday? Ample. So he's one of those rich guys that believes everybody's got a fair shot. Just go work hard.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
You just got to try harder and earn more money, man. That's what it's all about.
You got to try a lot harder and have money. And just that, if you do that, you'll be good. It's like, wait, what was that last part?
Like how they put that little bit of modulation there to like make it a little trippy, like a little sort of distorted.
It's great. How was your meeting, Mr. Lebowski?
So he just lies. Yeah. So we take any rug I want. Like, all right, I'll have that one.
It's great. I think Hoffman likes the dude.
Yeah. He's like that, like sort of. He like embodies the rebelliousness he wants to show, but obviously.
What movie does this song come from? Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
The song's in Nacho Libre. The toes that come into play later, by the way.
Yep. Remember those toes? Remember the color?
Tara Reid, who was the hottest thing in Hollywood at one time.
Yeah, this was like 98. So yeah, like the American Pie sort of years, like sort of around there.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
Trent's face there, just yep.
$1,000 is a bit steep, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what the going rate is, but it seems like $1,000 is a bit steep. I don't know. I had to be the one to say it. Seriously, I had to be the one to say it. Fine.
And that's like,
I'll die on that hill.
Like, I mean, that just shows how, like, to the dude there, he's like a little bit enraptured. He's like willing to go and get the money, but he's notoriously like a proper like tightwad. You saw him write a check for 69 cents before, and then here he is willing to try and find a gift of money. Like, just goes to show like what sort of hold she has over men there.
That's fair. Where his priorities are.
Oh, the fucking dog.
That little dog, man. He's all hair. He's all hair.
I love that line. I didn't run in shoes. I'm not buying a fucking beer, dude.
And this is Walter's ex-wife, by the way. His dog he's like looking after.
Yeah, it's insane. Like Walter's such a like kind of like
Well, I think
takes no.
so much of Walter's anger is because he's like so emasculated by his wife, like his ex-wife. Like he has like no control
Yeah,
over his personal life.
I, I was
Oh
gonna
god.
say he's like take no prisoners, but then he's like his wife like walks all over him.
That's fair.
This is bowling. Jesus.
Here's another question: do we know a Walter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we all know people who can have Walterish tendencies. I think if Walter existed in real life, in prison.
Yeah, that's true.
I live in North Carolina. I know a bunch of Walters. Okay. Dude brings a gun to a bowling alley. Jeez, this got out of hand quick.
It's a league game.
And that thing was loaded.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog's still going fucking crazy as well, which is great.
Not Nom, of course.
He's so good, Walter. Also, you never see him putting the dog in the car.
Oh, he doesn't, does he?
There
So
it
where's
is.
the
You're
dog?
not wrong. You're not wrong. Walter's just an asshole.
There's the cops. And dude's not even panicking. They're having this conversation, regardless of the cops that just came in.
I love like the cops like acting really urgent as well, even though like
Yeah.
it's obviously well after the game.
Yeah.
So they're reacting really slowly. They're just getting there, acting like they're reacting really quick.
That's cops, though, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know how they are over there for you guys, but over here, they're not in a hurry. If any cops listen to this show and I call 911, please come help me. I'm just saying. What do you does this rug really tie the room together as much as the other one did?
I mean,
I think it might be a little too big for the room, but I think dude makes it work.
There's Nixon in the bowling picture.
You look at how like threadbare the room is as well. I think it ties the room together because there's not really much else going on in the room.
That's fair.
He's got like his picture of Nixon in his drinks cabinet. He's got a table, and then he's got the rug.
So Ben, as the leading, and I don't know how do I frame this comment? As the leading connoisseur of alcoholic beverages,
Yes.
tell the kids what dude just made.
So he was making a White Russian. So if you want the US measurements, it is 1 ounce of Kahlua, which is a coffee liqueur from Mexico. It is 2 ounces, of vodka, and then topped with. So the dude was using half and half, which again is something that doesn't exist outside of America, I don't think. Which is like a sort of mix of milk and heavy cream, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the UK, you either use like a whole milk, which is like not really thick enough. I'm using today single cream, which is not a whipping cream, so probably around the same sort of consistency.
Yeah.
So I told you he was a connoisseur, man.
And that's an ounce of dairy poured over ice. You sort of layer it, so you put the vodka in first. You let a little mix of the ice to chill it down, then you can sort of float the cream on top, and it's sort of like it's real nice.
Nice.
Apparently, so fun fact, apparently the dude only drinks 7 White Russians during this film. It feels like a lot more.
It does feel like a lot more. I like he was doing Tai Chi on the rug. That was nice.
He's a surprisingly cultured man, the dude, for someone who appears to be like, because when you see a lot of slackers in films, they're sort of like a bit stupid, aren't they? And a bit sort of
yeah.
But this is like a very different portrayal of like your sort of typical slacker character.
Things have taken a turn for the worse for the other Mr. Lebowski.
It's with the
Again,
dude. It's like he chooses to not do anything as opposed to it's because of his circumstances.
Right.
And again,
It's
the
a
lighting,
chosen
the
fate.
scene, the lighting in the scene is delicious. It's fucking glorious.
Yeah.
Well said. Dude.
Considering as well, it's like daytime, and then he's got there, and it's like
it's like
it's
the fire's on.
It's set up to look like night, even though it's clearly like the afternoon.
Well played as well. Yeah.
This is shot like one of the meetings in like the Godfather film. You know, like a proper like mob sort of.
Yeah. Kind of that dude. Yeah.
And he's just going to smoke a joint right there in his house.
I mean, it's someone else's house. Yeah.
He did ask. He's cultured. He's got manners.
Again, though, this is a very different tone from Mr. Lebowski, because in the first meeting he was very incredulous about his wife, saying that she spent too much money, that his hair problem, she owed money all over town. Whereas here he's like crestfallen.
Yeah. Misses his wife. Brant's upset as well.
Bro, Pop's Brant's in pieces at this point.
I love the way he like looks really upset, and then when he gets told to give him the facts, he's just like, "Oh yeah, I need to do that." This is a bummer, man.
Again, this is very like sort of very high drama. Like he will be like left in solitude in the West Wing or whatever, doesn't he? It's very dramatic, and yeah, I love
it. Even the way like the music just stops as soon as they leave the room.
So, kids, if you're still with us, and we hope you are, right now you see Dude and Brant on the screen together having a face-to-face.
We are at 25 minutes.
Yes, just a hair shy of 25 minutes. And I still think I may be a half second behind you guys, but I'm good.
I forgot this.
And now we see Jesus for the first time.
So this is the Gypsy Kings version of Hotel from the soundtrack. It is a phenomenal rendition of this track. I would encourage anyone to find it.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a good call because the original song is so played out.
If your only sort of exposure to John Turturro is like the awful Transformers films, then get ready for this.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
He's got to lick the ball. It's great. I was somewhere the other day, I forget where, and they were calling names. I guess we were waiting in line or something. And the lady said, Jesus. And I really wanted someone to come up and say, I'm sorry, it's pronounced Jesus. But that didn't happen. I love that dance.
You said it, man.
He looks at him. That slow pan with the camera. Yeah. What?
Donnie's like, oblivious to the whole thing. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then Walter, who obviously does not trust him.
The disgust on Walter's face is brilliant.
Quintana. All he cared about was he gets to keep the rug.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite lines in the entire film.
And dude's still talking. Rug Piers did not do this. He's already figured this out.
Again, man, he's a clever guy, you know.
Yeah.
I am Walrus.
John Turturro making everything sexual in this film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus with the ball in the bag or the shining it up. I don't see any connection with Vietnam, man.
Do we think Walter was actually in Vietnam?
That's a great question.
Yeah, like I feel like it would be funnier if he was on like a reserve list or something instead.
Yeah.
So like he nearly went to Vietnam, but because he was like on a reserve list, he didn't. But he acts like he did.
Well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man. Another quotable line. I saw Jeff Bridges do a countdown of the whatever greatest rock and roll things on VH1. And at the end of the countdown, he goes, well, you know, that's like just your opinion, man. And he takes a piece of paper out of his pocket and he goes, where's Creedence? You know, where's the Mamas and the Papas? And he starts rolling down all these bands.
8-year-olds, dude.
8-year-olds, dude. I love he's listening to bowling sounds.
It's great. He's a fan of that rug.
I mean, the rug's definitely improved his life. You can see that there, can't you?
For sure. He's a simple man, the dude. Uh-oh. More villains. And I love the punch causes the fireworks.
These scenes are incredible. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
I did not see this in the theater. I only saw this when it came out on video later.
Okay, do you want me to scare you, Tom? So me and Jay were like 10 years or younger when this film came out.
Yeah, you're not scaring me as much as you're ticking me off. So
I didn't watch this. I didn't watch this till I was in university. Till a friend showed it to me. So
yeah, I think I would have first seen this like maybe 10 years after it came out.
I mean, this film it didn't review great at the time it came out, did it? And it didn't make a ton of
No.
money. It was more of like a real cult classic sort of.
Cult classic. We got to shout out this Bob Dylan song, "The Man in Me," they keep playing.
Yeah.
And look, to each his own. Everything's subjective. But I'll say about Dylan the same thing I say about Python. If you don't like Dylan, dude, go back and revisit. If you don't do anything but read the lyrics, for God's sake, read the lyrics.
I mean, you don't have to think Dylan's the best thing ever, but like, you can't turn around and say that Bob Dylan couldn't write songs. That's just factually incorrect.
Dude, go back and listen to Masters of War on Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. It'll give you chills. Like, no wonder they thought he was such a threat at one point. The stuff he was saying, he was fearless.
Yeah, there's a point like the FBI were like thinking that he was going to like corrupt the youth of America, didn't they? And...
Yep, it's true. And the rug's gone. That was freaking, man.
Yeah, my uncle's like the biggest Dylan fan. He has been for like 50. He's like pushing 70. He's been a Dylan fan since he was like 20.
I love Dylan, man. Brant's giving him the rundown, kids, of the drop off here.
That's totally legitimately money in there.
There's the Halliburton. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you recognize this.
The car phone.
Yeah.
Well, not the car phone, but yeah. Look at that phone.
Well, Paul Heyman had one of them.
He did.
It's staggering to think that in our lifetimes we've gone from that to like a miniature computer in our pockets. It's scary.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've used this line before, like, there's more technology in my pocket than on the first space mission, which is terrifying.
And like in factors of multitudes of factors, not just like it's a bit better. It's like no, it's like hundreds of times more advanced.
Yeah.
And you can buy one for like $75, $100. Like what's a Motorola over there? Like $100?
Oh, over here?
Yeah. Like a phone you get like your kid, like a but it's still got Android, it's still a touchscreen, it's still got all the apps on it. It's
Yeah,
scary, isn't it?
It's true. Yeah. We see Walter has flipped the script.
He's got his bandana on now. It's go time. This is action, Walter.
Action, Walter, with the kung fu grip. It's great.
Where do you want us to go?
Oh, he fucks up straight away.
Yeah, me and the driver. I'm not handling the money, driving the car, and talking on the phone all by myself. Dude, are you fucking this up? That is the driver. I told you. Shit! What the fuck's going on?
He hung up, man.
We don't get shit. They're gonna kill her. We're fucked, Walter. How big is fuck, dude? Come on.
I hear somebody's audio.
Oh,
Yeah,
might be me.
I don't want you to not hear the movie. I just sometimes the Apple police will come get you. Well, it's not
true.
you, me. Be knocking on my door. Tom, what the heck happened?
I'm just gonna fix a drink while these guys deal with the undies.
The undies.
Okay. But they're amateurs.
I can still hear it. I can still talk to you guys. I got the wireless headset on, so.
Cool. Well, so much for talking about Ben there, Jay.
I was gonna say we can hear Ben making his beverage though.
I'll try and get you some ASMR of the White Russian Assembly.
Speaking of Credence, my man, we know what's in the movie because Bridges is a fan. He should be. Credence. Listen, let's don't discount Creedence Clearwater Revival. I mean, they had three albums in the top 10 in their prime. It was insane. Like, they were the biggest hit. I recently downloaded their performance in England. Let me remember where it's at. And the recordings are great. The audio has been cleaned up and it sounds exceptional.
So again, shockingly, this film was probably my first exposure to Creedence.
Really?
Yeah.
Royal Albert Hall.
Off the back of this, I got really into them.
They're so good. John Fogerty's an amazing singer-songwriter. And dude's from California.
One of the most underrated vocalists working in music.
I agree. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And he's from California. Sounds like they're from Virginia or something, but he's from California.
Yeah.
They're going to toss the briefcase over the bridge.
The lighting on this scene's so good.
God. Dude, what? Oh, they're with the Uzi. I'd forgotten this. The tire's flattened.
Yeah.
Boom.
The dude's car just gets destroyed so much in this film.
Yeah. Dude's trying to tell him that he's got the money, of course. And Walter screwed the whole thing up. I love that the premise of this film is basically everything's normal, everything's fine. But what if, bam, and then you have a movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like movies like that.
I love Walter's response to the whole thing, just going pear-shaped as, oh, fuck it, dude, let's go bowling.
Yeah, like as if nothing happened.
Like he's taking it all in, and then he's just like, "Yeah, let's just go bowling. Why not?"
Phone's ringing. Look at that throwback bowling alley. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, talking about like nostalgia for something I've known, like that looks really aesthetically pleasing to me, and like that was something I've never been in a place like that, but
I mean,
it looks so cool.
That's why the chain Hollywood Bowl looked the way it did. May it rest in peace.
It's really good.
Again,
the dude.
Any younger kids watching this, like you might be shocked to see that not only is smoking permitted here, they actually had us at the lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had ashtrays built into all the tables there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm old enough to remember when smoking was allowed in grocery stores. You could just walk around smoking.
Oh damn.
Jesus.
For real. Smoking in restaurants was just that just became a thing in the past 15 years, right? 10, 15 years.
Yeah, well, my first job at a restaurant was replacing ashtrays on tables when they were full.
Man.
Um,
So the dude, we'll drop some facts on you here 38 minutes in. The dude is inspired mostly by Jeff Dowd, an American film producer and political activist the Coen brothers met while they were trying to find distribution for their first feature Blood Simple. Dowd had been a member of the Seattle Seven. By the way, I watched that movie not too long ago. He liked to drink White Russians and was known as the dude.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't he go to Lebowski Fest like most of the time? Like he's one of the kind of like marquee guests they get for it.
I think so.
I'd love to do a Lebowski Fest one year.
Where do they have it? California, presumably.
No, I think it changes every year.
Oh, right.
I think they do it like in different places. They have done it in California, obviously, but I'm sure they do it like it might even be touring. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
It's in Louisville this year.
Oh, right. Okay. I've been to Louisville. Louisville's cool.
I'd like to go to Louisville.
You can go to the Louisville Slugger Museum, where most baseball bats are made. It's great.
Yeah, so it started in Louisville. It's been in Milwaukee, New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Austin, Texas, Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco, Portland, London, Boston, New Orleans, and Pittsburgh.
Where's your car, dude?
So this preceded the film Dude, Where's My Car by 2 years, and there's a little.
That's well played.
I think somebody watched this scene.
Maybe somebody watched this possibly while high out of their mind and was like, "That's a good idea for a film."
Yeah. Either that, or it was like a film exec who was just like,
they were like, "Get me Sherwood William Scott on the phone. Let's fucking make this happen."
Let's do it, but instead of with like older fellas, let's do it with like as a team movie with two stoners.
Like, we're not as clever as the Coen brothers, but we'll just do dick jokes, and like that'll probably get us most of the way there.
Crap! I accidentally paused for like a half second. I'm going to be in Troy before this is over.
Yeah, we'll spoil it. We won't spoil anything for you, don't we? It's fine.
Thank you.
We won't drop any of the big plot twists.
Richard Gant and Christian Clemenson are the cops. Richard Gant's been in a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, those guys that you don't necessarily know who they are, but like you see them around in a lot of films.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's someone who's in it later who's like that.
I love that. My business papers. And what do you do, sir? I'm unemployed.
My rug was also stolen.
Your rug was in the car?
The disgust he said that to him. fitting that a police car will go past your house, Ben,
Yep.
as there's police on the screen.
A little immersion for you.
That is a little bit of immersion.
See, I don't even recognize till you said it. I don't even hear them now. It's like Lebowski's like such a great character.
Yeah, we get our first glimpse of Julianne Moore here.
Again, so you don't talk about an entrance.
No kidding.
This film's all about just people making great entrances.
Maud Lebowski. Maud Lebowski with a truly, truly horrible haircut.
Oh god, yeah. Like at no point even in the 90s was that acceptable.
She's just like a German villain, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Maud knows a lot of stuff.
What an exchange. This is like a phenomenal exchange between like
Yeah.
It is.
It's absolutely great.
I love his go-to thing is to go and make a White Russian.
It'll make it all better. Yeah.
One thing I'm amazed
Peter's-
about is like everywhere he goes, they have like half and half and Kahlua, which like this is so the White Russian was popularized in the 60s and then sort of carried on to the 70s, and like before this film came out, it wasn't a drink. But like the really weird thing is that every place he goes, this is set like 91, right? Like everywhere he goes during the early 90s, just has the ingredient White Russian just knocking around the house, which is phenomenal.
It's one of those tidbits that I don't put thought into until you say it, but it makes a lot of sense. Actually, it's wild. That was Asia Carrera.
Maybe it's because it wasn't popular, so they've just got the spirits there. Just like
Yeah, they've been knocking around for like 10 years.
yeah, just in case somebody is still that guy who drinks it. It's like the way loads of like quite a few bars have stuff like port and that in where no one really drinks it
Sherry.
anymore. But sherry, yeah, no one really drinks anymore. But you will definitely get like once every like now and again someone asking for it, and if you don't have it, it's like a big thing.
That was Peter Stormare,
It was, yeah.
who was done
He's-
other stuff.
Frequent
I was gonna
Cohen
say-
collaborator.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big Coen collaborator. He's in Fargo, isn't he?
Yep, alongside Donnie.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
played. Yeah. Armageddon, Lost World, Jurassic Park, Minority Report, Bad Boys
Amer-
2,
American Gods.
Constantine. Yep.
Yeah,
So one of his really under. I really love him as the devil in Constantine. I think he's.
I was about to say he plays the devil in Constantine, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's a really good film. I can't wait for the sequel for that to come out.
The first time I saw him was in those Volkswagen commercials. Do you remember those?
No, I don't know if we ever. Did we get
Dude,
them?
you gotta look up the Volkswagen. It was great. It was him and a girl,
Mm.
and they're hilarious. They're hilarious. I'll send you one here. That driver's great.
Yeah, like he's such a random character as well. Like
I like how they just let him take not
scene's
only the
so-
drink but also the glass with him as he left. It's just like, yeah, just take the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
That is Don Herrera. Don Herrera. He's a stand-up comic, been in Hollywood for years.
oh, cool. It's just who gets like bundled out of one car into another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of car-related violence in these films. There we go. Yeah.
Easy, man. I got a beverage here. I think that's one of my go-to quotes from this film.
Check out the private chat on the screen here. Click that link when you get a chance. The commercial is epic. He did several of them.
Will do.
This is our concern, dude. It's great.
The royal way. Love it.
Yeah. Kids, if you're catching up, we'll mark the time he's in the back of the limo with a white Russian in his hand. Shocking. And he's being grilled by the other Lebowski.
So when you're saying about how he only makes like 7 in the movie,
Yeah.
is that 7 different times on screen he makes it?
You see him drink a different white Russian strain, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for a 2-hour film, that's pretty frequent when you think about it. That's
so
like
when you think of like With Nail and I, where like they're drinking in every single scene.
Yeah, there is like a Lebowski challenge where you drink a white Russian whenever the dude drinks a white Russian.
I think I
Wow,
could
does
do
the
that.
With Nail and I challenge, but you know.
No, the With Nail and I challenge is like if you want to like die of alcohol poisoning, do this.
With the film With Nail and I, Tom?
It's a hell of a film. Have you seen it, Tom?
What is it?
With Nail and I. It's a British film from the 70s, isn't it? Late 70s, early
It's
80s.
a young Richard E. Grant as this like sort of alcoholic, out of work actor, and it's just like,
Didn't George Harrison write it?
What?
Or he was involved in the making of it for sure. That's a really good film. 87 it came out. Jesus.
87.
Wow.
Set in
I have
19.
not seen that.
It's worth watching. It's very good.
It's very British, but it's very
It's
comedy.
very
It's sort of dark comedy.
That dude's looking a little bit like John Lennon with the hair and the glasses. He is. He's got the round specs. Interesting. Writer Bruce Robinson, directed by Bruce Robinson.
Yeah. So the guy who you said looks like John Lennon is also from Liverpool as well.
Nice.
Paul McGann.
Yes.
Very good actor. Very good actor.
Brandt is my witness.
Yeah, George Harrison executive produced it.
Ah.
Wow.
And now we see for the first time the toe.
The toe. I'll get you a toe. I got a guy. Walter's just immediate.
I love how he's just holding it.
Walter's like immediate baseline is just disbelief. It's like, nope, it's not a toe. Forget about it.
But he's right. That's the
Spoiler.
best part. Spoiler. There are ways, dude.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe.
Oh, so interestingly, Walter's got dog tags on there.
Mm-hmm.
So would he get them if he was military reserve? To go into our theory.
I don't know.
Or he stole them.
Yeah,
So he's
you
got
can buy dog.
he's
I'm
got a
sure you can
dog
buy
tag.
tags, like,
He's got a dog tag. He's got his wedding ring, and he's got something else.
So I was a big G.I. Joe and Transformers kid. And G.I. Joe had this, it was all mail-in giveaway, mail-in order. Okay. And they had dog tags they would personalize with your name. And I paid $4, whatever it was. And or my mom probably paid it, put it that way. And I wore those dog. Oh my God. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And I was G.I. Joe. Had no interest in ever becoming a soldier. I was just a massive G.I. Joe kid.
yeah.
So one thing I've just noticed there, which I've never noticed before, but I think it's because we're watching this, analytically, is when it's showing the dude's toes, all the candles around his toes were the same color as the nail varnish on Bunny's toe.
Ah.
Which, I mean, it's the Coen brothers, so it's probably intentional if they've done that.
Sure.
Oh yeah, nothing's accidental here. This is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's tied in. According to Julianne Moore, the character of Maud was based on artist Carolee Schneemann, who worked Naked from a Swing and on Yoko Ono.
Oh yeah, there's a bit like that. It's Flea.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Barrett, because why not?
Dude. There's Flea, legendary bassist for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Give us the money, Lebowski.
We wants the money.
Nihilist dude.
We believe in nothing, Lebowski.
We believe in nothing.
The tall nihilist is like the most German looking person I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. They always got to do something to his place before they leave.
So they found his car in Van Nuys, which, if you know your wrestling, that's where Brody King is from.
Oh, is
Well
it?
done.
Yeah, it's also apparently like the epicenter of the sex industry in California.
Yeah.
And I think it's meant to be a bit skeezy, like a bit of a sort of town.
Briefcase is gone. Not a good thing. Yeah.
He's been on all kinds, that police officer, hasn't he?
Mike Gomez is the cop. If you're taking notes. Leads?
A little bit of commentary about the effectiveness of the U.S. police force there.
Of course. Hey, everything you've heard is true. And again, if any law enforcement officials are listening to this podcast and I call 911, please come help me. And they just go back to the bowling alley.
Yep. Feels like that's like really the epicenter of his universe, isn't it? It's like where all
It is.
the important life events happen.
Do you guys have an epicenter of your universe, your home base? Not your house, but your home base?
Probably your brewery, Ben.
Or
Dead Crafty.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like the two places we kind of meet up the most. It's where I usually see Ben the most when I'm not on a Zoom call with him.
So you're not like sitting on a big... Go ahead.
It's a phenomenal quote from one. Say what you will about the tenets of National Socialism, at least beneath us.
I was going to say, so you guys aren't hanging out on a big couch in front of a fountain like on Friends?
No, that never. The weather's not good enough over here for that. Like that never took off in the UK.
There's a great Beavis and Butthead where that Beavis mentioned is like, if you want, they want to show you that guys are great guys. Just show them sitting on a couch. It's funny. Things have gone south with the friendship between Dude and Walter.
I mean, Dude just said fuck the tournaments, man. He put something before bowling, and that's like that's Walter's one.
Yeah, that's
rule.
That's it. Now you've drawn the line. That's something you can't come back. And Donnie just follows him blindly.
Donnie's a good friend, man. He doesn't deserve how he's good.
Yeah, Donnie like blindly follows Walter, despite the fact that Walter's like treats him as like an emotional punch bag the whole film.
Horrible to him.
Except for so there's when Donnie tells him about the tournament, Walter instinctively goes to tell him to shut the fuck up, and then like he gets halfway through the line and then goes, "Oh, the tournament."
We're back to
There's glimmers where like you can see that like Donnie means a lot to Walter, but Walter just doesn't show it.
Exactly. We're back to the Sons of the Pioneers, Tumbling Tumbleweeds. And then a very surreal moment for me is Sam Elliott shows up in the movie.
Yeah. As an actual cowboy. Just like...
As an actual cowboy.
It's a hell of a mustache, though.
He's been asked before, how is it you keep playing a cowboy? And his answer is always the same. I just happen to be able to grow a great Western mustache. That's always his answer, I think.
He's got that voice as well, though. Like the voice of just kind of a sort of grizzled old cowboy.
And in a Coen flick, like, of course, the narrator shows up, like in full costume. They have to use so many cuss words. No.
I like how he doesn't finish or pay for his sarsaparilla. He just leaves it on the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this boat makes a lot of money.
I love the way he asks about the sarsaparilla, and he goes, "Yeah, that's a good one." Just rolls with it.
Oh, it's just my favorite scene of the film. Yes, it is.
Yep. Do you want to give some subtext for this one, Tasty?
So the character on the couch, this man here, Knox Harrington, played by David Thewlis from the Harry Potter films. He is playing a Scouse character, so he's playing someone from the same city as myself and James.
Yeah.
He's actually from Blackpool. If you want. I thought he was
from Merseyside.
No, born in Blackpool.
Not far then.
Nice.
He played Remus Lupin in the Harry Potter films, if you're wondering where you've seen him before. With a really exaggerated Scouse accent.
What, in Harry Potter?
No, in this.
Oh, in this. I was going to say it's exaggerated, but it's actually like...
It's not far off. Like, it's not
real,
awful. It's a really little bit comedic, but yeah.
We should have been counting these White Russians. I don't know what number we're up to.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 in the scene, didn't he? So
Mm.
Yeah.
he's using he's using creamer there. That's like desperation times.
Yeah, that definitely screams of they've got the ingredients because no one drinks them anymore. So they've got like the powder creamer just so he's got something to add to it.
Yeah. The beaver picture.
So to bring this full circle as well, David Hewlett was actually the antagonist in I think season 3 of Fargo.
Nice.
He was tremendous in that. Like, go and watch it if you haven't.
He was also
Makes
he the
your
guy from
skin crawl.
season 1 as well?
Of which?
Wasn't he in season 1 of Sandman? Well, currently the only season of Sandman.
Yes, he was in one of them. Was it Sandman?
It was the thing who could like control people's
Yes,
minds.
it was. Sorry, I got Sandman and Preacher mixed up there. Yeah, he was really sinister in that as well. Also, the bad guy in Wonder Woman.
Yes, the first Wonder Woman film as well. Yeah,
Oh, we don't talk about the second one.
there wasn't a second one. It's fine.
Thank you. The film's overall structure was influenced by the detective fiction of Raymond Chandler. Ethan said we wanted something that would generate a certain narrative feeling like a modern Raymond Chandler story, and that's why it had to be set in Los Angeles.
It does have a bit of like it's like a noir film, but everyone was
Mhm.
Yeah.
totally incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like a modern film noir film, isn't it?
It's like the sort
This
of
brawl's
light
kind of
side.
crazy.
The doctor here who he's speaking to, I can't remember his name. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Deep Roy.
He was Ron Jeet in How I Met Your Mother, the limo driver and taxi driver.
Hmm.
He was also he also played the Oompa Loompas in Tim Burton's Willy Wonka.
Marshall Manesh.
Oh, what a scene!
Oh, more credence. Shut up.
What a voice, man! What a voice!
I'm telling you. I'm a little disappointed. We've barely mentioned Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Give it time. I love the fact that the dude's driving with a bottle of beer and a joint.
Yes.
So one little detail that's in a lot of the dude's costumes throughout the whole film, he's got loads like little hash burns on his t-shirts, like little holes.
Yeah. Oops.
For a reason of that. And then again, the car is just the sacrificial lamb in this film, isn't it? You know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's almost like a character in itself.
Yeah.
It truly is. Then he forgets he can't get out the driver's door. And, you know, going back to the vacation film, like that car survived everything. You know what I mean? Like no matter what you did to it, it still survived.
Yeah.
That big panel station wagon.
Louisiana Purchase, eh?
Wow. Found a bit of evidence, perhaps, in the car.
I thought this is just such a random scene to have in the film,
Very random scene.
but it fits perfectly. Just leave it.
Donnie has no idea what's going on.
I cannot comment on an Outbaker. I've never had one.
I've had In-N-Out Burger. It's good.
Coen Brothers wrote this screenplay around the same time as Barton Fink.
Oh wow!
Did they?
Mm-hmm. They wanted
So
to make it.
if you want to see a powerhouse John Turturro performance and a really good turn from John Goodman, check Barton Fink out. Absolutely.
100%. When the Coen Brothers wanted to make it, John Goodman was filming episodes for Roseanne, and Jeff Bridges was making the Walter Hill film Wild Bill. The Coens decided to make Fargo in the meantime. So they put this movie off to be sure they got the cast they wanted. They made Fargo first. That's just the luxury of being creative geniuses, kids. Just we'll put off this classic first and make this other classic next, you know.
Yeah, oh, fine. I guess we'll just do Fargo instead then. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk of Fargo. I'm gonna need to watch it later.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've been putting off revisiting the TV series for a while because it's so good.
So we've tracked down the car, well, which means we've tracked down the money. He's trying to be nice and civil.
And a good day to you, sir.
Iron lung.
Yeah, you don't see iron lungs nowadays, do you? It's just a thing that medicine left behind.
It's so funny because if you really want to try to piece this film together, what time period does this movie take place in? We've got the bag phone, but we've got a bowling alley that looks like it's out of the 60s, and we've got an iron lung. Like,
according to Wikipedia, it's 1991. It's set in.
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels older than that, doesn't it? It feels like a couple of years before that, at least.
Very true. Yeah.
But then if you look at like what Larry's wearing, that's not like 70s
That's
attire.
early 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does strike me as being like late 80s, early 90s, to be fair.
This kid, man.
I know it's this fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, little brat? Look, Larry.
Walter just getting totally outplayed by like a 15-year-old kid.
God.
You're killing your father, Larry.
You're killing your father. Larry.
Nothing moves this kid. He's an oak.
It's like an all-time John Goodman scene. Like, this is incredible.
This is such a... So, what's wild, was this before or after he did the Flintstones?
I think this was after.
So, just to think, like, he went from that to this.
This is Fred Flintstone screaming obscenities, smashing up a sports car.
Oh. That nice Corvette.
Oh, I got the doctor mixed up with someone else. I just realized.
And more
Notice how
violence.
quickly Walter backs down when threatened with a weapon.
Yep.
I mean, can you tell if anything's done to the dude's car?
I mean, it didn't
I
get
mean,
much worse.
nah. I'll kill your car. Oh God.
Like how they've all, apart from the dude, they've all got In-N-Out burger now. Except, yeah.
Yeah, the dude hasn't even got a burger.
No, I just want to handle it by myself. You call me at home. You call me at home. Oh, Walter, it did not look like Larry was a.
Yes, the car made it home.
Well, that's your perception.
Incredible.
Like,
Larry's a horrible friend.
Leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, I'll keep my.
Had Larry not gotten involved, or Walter, excuse me, had Walter not gotten involved, you know, the handoff would be made. I wonder what movie we're looking at then. But Walter
no,
kind of screwed
because-
everything up.
Well, no, because if you remember how this ends, the plan was always to frame the dude for stealing the money.
That's right. Super. That was a great plan for the door till it wasn't.
That's like the one like stupid thing he does in this whole film is not understand how his door opens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Always think that guy looks like Eddie Vedder.
He does look like Eddie Vedder.
It's like these sorts of scenes in the film just to show that like people from California are really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of sex, a lot of drugs.
Like, and again, this is meant to be the 90s. This isn't like 1968 or anything like that. This is like
Yeah, this is like
Summer of
Early
Love's
90s.
well over now, man.
It's Ben Gazzara. Talk about a dude with a big resume in Hollywood. Jackie Treehorn just sounds like the name of a pervert.
A ne'er-do-well.
A ne'er-do-well. How often did he do well? Ne'er. That's how often. You know, it's funny because the dude keeps getting sucked into these situations with all these people he doesn't know.
he just wants his rug back.
He just, yeah,
All he wants is the rug.
that's all. That's all he cares about. Even they offered him 20 grand to make the drop, and I get to keep the rug, man. Like that was all he cared about.
I love how there's obviously a saxophone playing in the background in the scene because why wouldn't there be?
Henry Mancini's the orchestra in this. Henry Mancini again. God, there's so many people tied to this film in really weird ways. You know, they're very like throwaway scenes or whatever, and
This bit, it's just this is such a great like subversion of like detective shows and movies. Like the dude, like right, I'm going to do some amateur sleuthing here, and it just absolutely does not work.
I've done this. Ha 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 ha.
Just tries to act casual.
If I can't find your money, what's in it? Okay.
Does the boat? What?
Hollywood on Radford, by the In and Out Burger. Fucking rat. And I'm sure your goons can get it off. 15.
Flunking social studies. $5,000. The dude's not good at math. Maybe the dude is
No.
not such the genius that we anticipated.
Oof. Another one of these
Voiceover's back.
wonderful dream sequences.
Yeah.
So good.
Great song as well.
Yeah, the late great Kenny Rogers. I mean, this is even this like a throwaway scene, but it's shot so beautifully.
It is.
Yeah.
That first shot with the shadow there was incredible. Wow, that really dates the film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein giving him the bowling shoes.
If you're wondering why we're not talking over this bit, it's because it's literally spellbinding.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. You just imagine people in Hollywood have seen everything. But like if you're one of the extras in this scene, you might be looking at each other going, "What is this movie again?"
Yeah. Imagine this is the only scene you were part of, and you have no idea what the rest of the film was like.
Right, right. No one told you. You just showed up for the casting call and they're like, "Can you dance?"
Can you
Cool.
dance while dressed
Here's
as
a
a
dress.
set of bowling pins? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like,
Here's your skirt. Here's your shoes. Let's get the bit down and we'll be ready to go. Oh, that's great.
that whole scene was incredible.
It
Yeah,
really was.
so good.
Like why is Peter Stormare wearing a red onesie? Like, do we need to worry about that?
No, don't worry about it. To be fair, what's in the dude's head, regardless of being drugged half the time or punched in the face? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I imagine this kind of stuff being in his head anyway. So,
I love that.
from his garden party. God. Cop telling the dude what he doesn't like. Basically everything.
Oh, that sounds like it hurts so bad.
I mean, this is Malibu with pretty much a little bit up itself. Like, oh, not the fucking Eagles, man.
There again, I have to believe that a lot of the soundtrack choices came from Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
It's like Downey in the Marvel films. Downey wore his own wardrobe. When you see him wearing a Black Sabbath shirt, that was his shirt. And there's always an AC/DC song. So gotta respect that. Man, everybody hates the dude. The dude's all peace and love, man.
That guy was just really into the Eagles, it turns out.
Evidently.
Huge Eagles fan.
Oh, the ZZ Top version of Viva Las Vegas. Hell yeah.
Classic. Their version's pretty good.
Not a single toe missing. Plot thickens.
Man.
Every time.
So what do we think? Do we think the dude and Maud are a good match?
I think they're different enough that it kind of works.
I like that dude and Maud are similar in the spelling.
Mm.
Dude and Maud. It's an
And the vocal.
anagram.
So there you go. The dude said he was a roadie for Metallica, so that helps to sort
There
of
we
date the
go.
whole thing.
That would explain the kind of like dream sequences, the occasional acid flashback.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything to compare this to, but isn't it true that stuff kind of stays with you for years? Like, not like where you can't function, but I've read and heard people say that, one trip can stay with you for a long time. So
I mean,
you two guys who apparently have done acid, I think. I don't know why I'm asking you. Hey, you two guys in England that may have done acid, what do you guys think? That's terrible. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I haven't dabbled, but I have heard similar. Yes.
Dabble. Hey, I like the honesty. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever come across acid in, my part of the world that I live in.
It's more of a 60s thing, isn't it?
Are you suggesting that acid is not a universal drug, Ben? My God. What is Maud doing there?
Oh, she'll tell you in a sec.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's right. How did I
that
forget?
was just incredible.
Real reactionary. So, a sequel that never happened. It's the dude's son. Just saying.
Well, that was originally what was pitched for Jesus Rolls, wasn't it?
Was it? I did not know that. Interesting.
Because John Turturro really wanted to reprise the character, so that's why they ended up doing that.
If anyone's wondering what's going on with Walter, his wife was quite big into Judaism, and people who are strict practitioners of Judaism aren't allowed to do anything really on, I think it's a Saturday.
Yep.
So where my parents live is quite a very historically Jewish neighborhood. And my dad used to deliver, when he retired from the fire brigade, he delivered parcels as a courier around there for a few years. And if he delivered on a Saturday, he would have to, for some old people, they weren't allowed to pick up the parcel and take it into the house. He'd have to take it in and put it in the front room for them.
Wow. It's like the union. You can't. We I went to a conference in New York last year, and I've never been around a union of any kind. And like, we couldn't move this, couldn't put this over there. The union has to do it. And I'm like, I can't just move a box. Nope, that's their job. All right, it's like a holiday for me. I ain't got to do anything. John Polito, who's also been in everything.
Yeah.
There's a recurring theme here, guys.
It's just a lot of like really awesome journeyman actors just playing really interesting parts in this film. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah, yeah. Special lady.
One thing
This thing
about
is,
this,
yeah.
I was gonna say one thing about this film, which is like, it's like the opposite of a detective movie in a way. Is that there's so many loose ends they just don't tie up at all. Like even introducing this like little like story point now, and it's like they're never gonna commit to finishing that. It's just there.
No.
That's what I like about the Coen Brothers though, is they trust their audience. They don't like a lot of films these
Yeah,
days. They have to show you everything, how it all like they have to think, oh, the audience are going to be upset if they don't know how everything resolves. The Coens just like, no, this is the story we're telling. These are the characters that we're going to focus on, and like if you don't,
yeah,
you have to sort of work out everything else out yourself. It's fine, and they give you like they trust you as like an intelligent cinema goer to sort of piece it all together yourself, which I appreciate.
yeah.
Berry pancakes.
And like there's 22 minutes left, and to your point, they just introduced that plot line
Yeah.
here. She pigs in blanket. And then we see the camera pans down.
There is
Uh-oh.
the Phantom Toe.
Those cowboy boots, man. Highly functional cowboy boot. You're not even Jewish, man. From Moses to Sandy Koufax.
It's a wonderful summation of the Jewish faith there, isn't it? In like
I
two
mean
sentences.
that sums it up. That sums it up. Just saying.
Nice. On the back of the carnival plate, there's Lapin, which is the Latin word for rabbit.
Ah.
Man, so much of Walter's identity is hold up in Vietnam, isn't it?
Yeah. It,
Yeah.
Walter just taking it to the nuclear option immediately.
Oh God, it's a terrible idea. Oh,
Now, something I just thought of. So, this guy, Lebowski, claimed to have been injured in warfare. Yet Walter, who claims to always want respect because of his veteran status, affords absolutely none to this guy.
Yeah.
Walter's a piece of shit, man.
Walter's not the best friend you could have.
No, it really isn't. Oh.
Even if stuff got real and you needed backup, would you even call him?
No.
Like, I don't know if I'd call him then either.
Walter would definitely get you shot before him.
Yeah, good call.
He's like the epitome of like a wild card.
Donnie's last pin didn't fall over there, which I'm sure is not a metaphor for anything.
Also, I've just noticed, look what he's doing with his hands. Which I've never noticed before.
Good call.
He's in pajamas, Walter.
Why is Donnie here? Give me what other than he's great, but like what why is he here? What he's got to put up with?
Another little little final cameo from John Turturro here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just devouring the scenery here, isn't he? It's incredible.
Yeah.
I like the guy with him.
Oh, Liam.
Just completely silent.
It's just his silent yes man. It's his nod man. I'm just gonna nod. He's cracking.
Why have they got a boombox?
Oh, look at that. God bless it. Let the man have what's left of his car, man. Well, they finally did it. We didn't mention earlier the album cover we saw. These three were like a techno group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very Kraftwerk inspired.
Yeah.
See, even there, like Walter, like reassuring Donnie that everything's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell he cares about him. He's just an absolute arsehole to him.
Mm-hmm. Almost 5. God, he's got a ninja sword.
Again, the lighting is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh! That's not a ninja sword. It's like one of those Three Musketeers things. Turns out Walter's not such a pushover after all.
No, Walter can't go, man.
Oh. Oh,
So I've just noticed there, So Walter says they're not Nazis, but then instantly accuses them of it.
yeah, yeah. Just because they're German. We got help choppering in. He was
That
there for his last moment.
transition then was beautiful with the fading out of the
Beautiful.
stars.
Yeah.
So who's the bowling team? Is it the dude and Donnie? Because the dude and Donnie have both got matching like bowling shirts like that.
Mm.
Possibly. You
And,
see Walter Bowl, do you?
no, it's almost like he's like the kind of like the manager of the team.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
feels that way.
which is
Doesn't
very
it?
Walter, isn't it? You know, he's not going to do
You,
the
you
work,
only
but
see,
he'll tell you what to do, but he's not going to do it himself.
Mm-hmm.
you only see him bowl in the scene after they do the handoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, rent it.
The way this guy speaks is like the most sort of mortician thing ever as well.
Of course. Another famous scene from this movie, dude.
I
It's
love
actually
this
quite a
scene.
poignant, isn't it? You know.
Mm. Yeah, it's Walter trying to do like the right thing, but
Mm.
Waltering it up.
But
He's eulogizing Donnie as if he was killed in battle.
So I don't know if you've had this beer, Ben. It was in Dead Crafty. There's a Croatian brewery called Nova Runda who do a beer called Hill 367. Is it? And on the side, like the can, the actual label of the can is a silhouette of this scene
oh, right.
with like framed by bowling pins, and on the side the can it's got the full eulogy.
Nice.
Oh man. Whoa, what an upset it.
Oh.
It's Walter's reaction here though. It's so like he's annoyed. He's got a bit on his shirt, and he's like,
Travesty. It's the first time Walter was ever truly humbled, isn't it?
Mm.
I think like right at the end here, it's like you see like the sort of like bare bones of the relationship. I'm like, yeah, like just two guys who like kind of need each other, maybe.
Mm. They are like yin and yang, aren't they? Like when you think about it.
Mm.
I saw somebody up on that cliff just now.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Do you reckon that was just
I
like
wonder
a
if that was.
public we're filming on, and they just didn't close set the scene down?
I was about to say, imagine if you're like walking the dog and you just walk up to the edge and see that.
Yeah. Like, hey, I think they're filming something down there.
Is that Jeff Bridges? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why is John Goodman pouring a coffee tin in the ocean?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to go bowling at some point in the next couple of weeks, Ben.
Man, I really want to go now.
I'll find out when they do the unlimited bowling by you. Now, we did promise another Brad Pitt cameo. If you just look at the guy in the orange in the background who's cleaning the lane, that extra is Brad Pitt. Definitely don't Google it.
What? So weird. The dude abides.
We never know if they won the bowling game, the tournament.
It is insane, isn't it? Like they do everything to frame this up for a sequel with this speech, but then they don't ever give us a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you more sarsaparilla. You never drank the last one.
Oh, what a film.
Yeah.
Well, there we go, kids. It's trying to play Kingpin for me next.
Trying to make Back to the Future for me.
Really?
It's trying to play Triangle of Sadness for me. So
What?
Yeah.
Three very different choices.
I've never even heard of Triangle of Sadness.
Oh, man.
Marshall Manesh was the doctor, by the way.
Yeah, I got them mixed up. But yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
It was.
It was a real fun time. Visit one of my favorite films with some good people. Enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Well,
enjoyed that.
heck yeah, man. It was great. I I legit have seen this recently. It was a month or two back. I'd watched it. I went on a tangent one week or one weekend and just watched. I watched all three Indiana Jones films in a row, and I just started binging random films. Sometimes films just make me feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Lebowski is one of those films that makes me feel good. Like you said, comfort food, 100%, man.
Yeah, it's a very it is a very kind of, you can just turn it on and just forget about everything film.
For sure. Well, kids, we hoped you stuck with us through the whole bit, and we hope we're entertaining. I don't know what the audio commentary is of the Big Lebowski, whether it's who did the actual audio commentary, I wonder.
Yeah, I've
That
never listened to it,
exists.
but I'd really like to actually know now that we've done that.
I mean, you've got to assume it's the Coens, right?
You would think, and Jeff Bridges as well, you would think.
Yeah.
I've seen audio commentaries from movies, and like the only people in it are the director and a third tier actor in the film, like a cast. I'm thinking you couldn't get the main two star. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those films where like they wouldn't necessarily do it as a like too much of a big deal of the commentary because they've already got a narrator in the film.
Mm.
But then
That's true.
it would like it would be interesting to kind of like see their sort of like point of view on like various scenes, because there is a lot of like surrealism in a lot of scenes.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's try to put a bow on this, guys. So, Ben, let's start with you. Actually, we'll start with Jay since, Ben, this is your primary go-to of all time. Jay, give me your last word on the Big Lebowski.
To do the bites.
Well done. Well done. You can be more involved in that, Ben, if you'd like to. What's your last word on the Big Lebowski?
Yeah, no, I mean, just watching it again, just reaffirmed. It's definitely it's a film that definitely transports me to a very particular frame of mind. Which yeah, I don't know. I think what I said at the start. It's one of those films, isn't it? It's just so easy to watch. It's effortless. Everything about it's effortless.
Mm-hmm.
Like the making of it, the watching. I'm sure the making of it wasn't, but it feels it like when you watch it. And yeah, it's just great, isn't it? It's just a really fantastic film.
God, it really is.
There's no bad time for it. You're never going to be flicking on channels and see it pop up and go, oh no, I don't fancy that right now. I'll put something else on.
Yeah, it's such a good flick. Classic, one of the most classic comedies of all time. I mean, you have to say. Well, for me, yeah, it stands the test of time. It is going to be timeless. It is one of those movies, as we said at the beginning of the show. It's something you can pass down. I feel like my grandkids would watch this movie and really enjoy it. I mean, there's just a little something for everybody. As weird as that sounds, but I think there's enough charm here and enough bizarreness and in points. But Bridges ties it all together, man. I mean, this is not a matter of anybody could have played this part. This is Jeff Bridges. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
So,
but as Ben said, all the parts were written specifically for those people in mind.
True.
So you look at it and you couldn't like imagine anyone else playing most of those parts.
It's what happens when you get like you said, like a cast of just fantastic characters just killing it in like fantastically written roles, directed by fantastically talented directors and shot by a fantastically talented director of photography. It's just when you bring that many talented people together to make a film, you almost can't miss, can you? It's
like the perfect storm. Like it's one thing as well. Like with that, as it shows how kind of revered the Coens must have been at that point. If they could not only like pick and choose exactly who they wanted, that they'd write a film with those people in mind, but also put it on hold until those people were available to do it.
That says something.
Yeah.
The Coen brothers have stated they will never make a sequel to The Big Lebowski. They were not involved in the Jesus role, so they gave permission for Turturro to use the Jesus Quintana character. That's a tough watch. If you guys haven't watched it, yeah, I see what your point is. Like, you don't want to taint, yeah, it's a tough watch. I think I got a third of the way through it and just stopped watching. It just wasn't for me. And I like him a lot, but it wasn't working for me.
Beer as well. We talked a lot throughout the commentary about the cinematography, about the lighting, about the sort of set design and stuff like that. The cinematography for this film was Roger Deakins, who you probably know. He's an English cinematographer. He worked on Fargo, A Brother Art Thou, Skyfall, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, 1970. He's widely regarded as one of the greatest cinematographers working in cinema.
Wow. Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, kids, there you have it. There is the Big Lebowski. We hope you like this one. And I rarely do this here, but we'll give the shout out, of course, to the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for joining.
We don't talk nearly as much about the Big Lebowski on our show, but we try. We get it in there when we can.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for subscribing, kids. Thanks for listening, of course, and following along with us during the course of this great movie. And I'm sure this will not be, though this is the first Coen Brothers flick we've tackled on the 6M. Interestingly enough, it will probably not be the last. But until then, that is the Big Lebowski.